Hello everyone and welcome back to the plot. Today we are going to do a bit more clearing. I'm kind of clearing the beds now and taking it slow, doing a little bit each time I'm here. The weather has turned so I haven't been up much this week, but when I was up here last I did manage to clear 2 of the beds, so I will roll that footage and then we will get into today's jobs. So the 2 beds we're clearing today will be the mini pumpkin teepee and the bed where the bean teepee was, which fell over. So if you remember in the last video, I harvested all the little mini pumpkins. I did find 2 that were whole, the rest had been munched by the squirrels. So I was untangling all the foliage and leaves. Most of the leaves did have a powdery mildew on them, so I'm not going to be composting these in my nice compost bin. I'm just going to chuck them in the compost pile at the back. And then I'm taking down the teepee, getting rid of all the string and putting my bamboo canes all together, ready to use next year. I just went round and weeded, but there was not very many weeds in this bed. There was a couple of bindweed strings and they were kind of tangled around the dahlias. We did have a couple of dahlia sacrifices, but that's okay. One little bed done. I uncovered a couple of snapdragons. Whether they will do anything, but yeah, they were a little bit squished into the pumpkins, and the soil has lots of little bits of pumpkins in, so thank you squirrels. I'm sure that will compost down and be fine. The dahlias were also a bit squished, and a lot of the stalks were snapped, so a lot of dahlia have been removed, which is a shame, but to be honest these weren't my favourite ones anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, so one bed pretty much empty. This stuff I'm going to chuck on the very back compost heap because I don't think the powdery mildew leaves can be composted, so I don't want to put them in my good little bin. The back pile is back there and it's just all the bad stuff basically. I think that's one good job done. I might try and do a bit of this bed as well since I'm here. Yeah, because this is where I want to put my garlic. I think this courgette plant is done now. I don't think it's going to produce anything else. It's got this one massive courgette on it, but it's been munched. Everything else I think I'm going to start pulling out. I didn't think I'd have time to completely clear this bed, but I did it and it just looks so much better now without the fallen beans. There were actually quite a few beans in amongst the chaos, but yeah, I'm just not a bean fan, like I've said millions of times, so I didn't bother taking those home with me and they just got composted. I know people are going to be offended by that, but I just wouldn't have eaten them. Better for them to go into the compost and feed the soil for me next year instead. Anyway, I'm so happy this bed is clear. This is where I'm going to be planting my garlic. I don't think I'll be planting it until the very end of October, maybe November. Last year I planted my garlic in December and I still got amazing big bulbs. Okay, this looks really weird and empty and bare now, but I have taken the beans off this bed and I found one marigold still alive underneath. This I'm gonna see if it does anything else. Now that it's got a little bit more space and light and air, I took the giant courgette off it, but yeah, we'll see if anything happens. So yeah, this bed is now empty. I'll probably just give it a rake and add some compost and feed into it when it comes to planting garlic. Right, so this bed is basically done. That one is also basically done, so I think when I come up tomorrow I'm going to go through this bed. There's lots and lots of mare's tail and there's some random onions. They're rotten, so I'm just going to compost those, but that's something to deal with. And I think I'm going to do this bed as well. I think I'm going to pick that squash tomorrow. And I also want to weed in here. The dahlias are so pretty. And there's also, this is where the crown prince squash was, which also got eaten, so that needs to come out, and there's some bindweed. So it's these two beds tomorrow, potentially that pumpkin bed over there as well. We'll see how much I get done. Also got to do the greenhouse as well, so loads to do, but it's just so exciting, clearing and planning. I'm thinking about next year. I can't wait. Right, time for me to go home. So this bed is looking good and empty. I think I said I was going to tackle this bed, but maybe I should do this bed first, because I'm definitely going to take this curry squash home. I think, yeah, it's intact, so I'm going to take this one home. I'm not going to leave it any longer out here because I don't think it'll last much longer. So I'm going to take this, which means I can clear this pumpkin vine. Yeah, I think I'll do this bed first. Let's do it. Look at you. I was wondering what the crows were shouting at. Where's he going? Hello? Hello? What are you looking for? You're so pretty. You're so pretty. Hello. Oh, okay. You're funny. Okay, bye. One curry squash is better than none, right? I had such high hopes for all these lovely, beautiful curry squash. I really wanted to harvest more than one, but yeah. Oh well. It's a lesson learned for next year. Anyway, I am clearing this bed up. If you remember, it had the potatoes in, then the curry squash and dahlias, and also some snapdragons. So once this was all clear and I weeded all the mare's tail and bindweed out of it, the dahlias and snapdragons had space. So I'm hoping they will do a little bit more growing before everything starts to die back for winter. Speaking of the dahlias, I'm really unsure whether to keep the tubers in the ground over winter. It's just because we have so much rain here. I'm really worried that they will rot, especially the couple of dahlias that I grew from seeds. They've produced really good, well, I assume they have produced really big, good, strong tubers now. And I know that if I sow seeds next year, I'm not going to get a dahlia that looks like that ever again. So yeah, I don't know whether to risk it and leave them in the ground or dig them all up and store them and hope that they will store well and then plant them again in spring. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. We'll see. What do you guys do with your dahlia tubers? Do you leave them in the ground? Especially if you are in Wales, I would really like to know. Because I know we have an awful lot of rain and very wet winters. So yeah, I'd be interested to know what you guys do. Hello everyone, I'm back. We've had some terrible weather this week, so I wanted to come back the day after filming the last little segment, but it's just been raining, really windy, thunderstorms, just not nice. And there wasn't even like a break in the weather so that I could pop down in between and film a vlog tour and end the video. But it's a really nice day today, really windy still, but at least it's sunny. So what we're gonna do, I think I'm just gonna start off by clearing up the greenhouse, taking off as many of the tomatoes as possible, and yeah, clearing away some of the dead stuff, and then I'll give you a little plot tour. Hopefully it's not too windy though. So the greenhouse, I think it went down to 4 degrees last night, or it's going down to 4 degrees tonight, but my tomatoes are still looking pretty good, and there's still some chunky tomatoes on here that need harvesting. This one does not look very good. I think it might be dead. This one also doesn't look good. I don't know whether that's blight or it's just given up now. So yeah, I think we're going to sort out the tomatoes, and some of the chilies, like the cayennes, have kind of stopped. Just making sure there's no spiders. Stopped now, so I'm going to pick all the cayennes off the plants and just get rid of them. The pepper juice, no, not the pepper juice. The paprikas are absolutely amazing. There's loads to harvest in there. And I think I'm just going to look through the sweet peppers to see if there's anything I can harvest from them. Not too sure about that though. But yeah, otherwise it's just clearing up. There's so much mare's tail in here again, and there's some dead stuff. But yeah, that's what the planners say. A couple of people have asked if I am doing like an autumn garden, or have I been sowing anything for harvest over autumn and winter and like very early spring, but I have not sown anything recently, and I don't intend to have stuff in the greenhouse over winter, only because I feel like the greenhouse is going to be a big project and I want to get it done nice and clean and the floor leveled out and get staging repairs, and also to fill in some of the holes around the brickwork. And yeah, I don't want stuff in the greenhouse and plants in the greenhouse that I'm going to have to move like in and out or every time I want to work in here. So I'm not growing anything over autumn and winter in here, and hopefully at the end of January we can start again afresh in a brand new nice greenhouse, and that's when I'll be sowing stuff like my sweet peas and hardy annuals and stuff. But yeah, the only thing that I'm going to be planting in the allotment over winter will be like the brassicas and the garlics and onions. Otherwise we're going to be tackling the back of the plot and the greenhouse and making this space super tidy and ready to go for spring. Okay, it's gone really dark and I think it's going to start chucking it down soon, so we're going to do a quick whiz around the plot. I'll just show you what it's looking like now, and I'll just talk about all the things that I need to do over autumn and winter. But anyway, the greenhouse is looking so much better now. It's pretty empty. The only thing I didn't get around to doing were the peppers. I wanted to prune them and check for any fruit that is okay to pick, but I didn't have time for that, so I've done tomatoes and the peppers, but not the sweet peppers. That's what I mean. So this is what it's looking like. I've pruned pretty much all the leaves off the tomatoes. I've got rid of one tomato. I think they've all got blight, to be honest. I don't know how I'm going to ripen all these, because the green ones that I've taken home just would not ripen. They're still green. They've been on my windowsill for weeks. So I don't know, I'm just going to leave them, see what happens. I also accidentally knocked these green ones off. I'll take those home. If you've got any tips on how I can ripen tomatoes quickly, do let me know. So these ones are fine, I'll take those home as well. So yeah, so I think they all had or have blight. Don't know if any of these are going to do anything because, yeah, look at that, they're just not looking good. Anyway, the peppers, these are the paprikas, and they've done so much better than my chilies. Like, my chilies are all yellow and horrible. These are just so good and green and nice. So I've harvested a lot of those. I've got rid of some of the chili plants. I've got 3 or 4 left. These jalapenos, waiting for them all to go red. This is another paprika. And in the paprika gap, I've put the big pink tomato. Hopefully these will ripen. This one didn't look as bad as the other ones. Still a little bit of dodgy leafage, but hopefully those will be okay. And there's a cayenne down there. Whether it will do anything, it just doesn't look healthy. Then we've got the peppers, and I also brought in these 2 buckets because they have potatoes in, and I keep meaning to harvest them and I haven't, and I have a feeling they're just, the buckets are really wet, so I've put them in here to dry out a bit. I'm going to try and harvest them next week. Whether we've had anything, I don't know. That's promising. Yeah, or they might have rotted in the really wet conditions we've had. We'll see. Hopefully I'll get some potatoes out of there next week. It started raining, but this is my little haul for today. And yes, there is a snail on my bag. I'm not taking you home. So we've got some tomatoes, a couple of the fungal tomatoes. These are all the paprikas. Paprikas have done so well. I'm so happy and impressed. And in there are some chilies, mainly cayennes. Snail needs to vacate. Right, let's get on with a very quick plot tour. I am going to whiz round and just point out some of the more exciting things happening. Anyway, this is where the pumpkins were, and here are the little snapdragons that were underneath. They have definitely grown in the last week, and they're even flowering now. Well, this one is anyway. They are growing at quite a weird angle, but I wonder how long they'll go on for, because usually my snapdragons do last quite a long time. Oh, and these are the leeks. They're growing really, really well, and I'm very excited to start harvesting those soon. I have been craving leek and potato soup. Anyway, the dahlias are still looking really good. I haven't deadheaded them in a while, but they're still flowering, which is absolutely fine. That courgette is not doing anything else, so I think I might get rid of it. The pumpkins are still intact. We'll see how long they last. I think I'm going to harvest those leeks in this middle bed because they're kind of out of place, just randomly stuck in there. Oh, the dahlias, I love them so much. On to the potato / curry squash / dahlia bed. These snapdragons have also kind of woken up now. Now that they're not entangled in the pumpkin vines, and they're looking so good. I really love these 2 dahlias. The Teesbrook Audrey and the darker pink is the Hartenaz, and this, a very dark snapdragon there, and a nice speckly pink one which needs a little bit of support, which I'll remember to do next time. So this bed where the Cobra French beans are, I'm just going to leave them. I can't actually reach those beans, I am too short. So I think you can save Cobra French bean seeds, so I'm just going to save those beans for seeds. There is a big marrow under there and a couple of more marrows under there as well, and I didn't take them home because I don't know what to do with them anymore. I've had so many courgettes, and I know I was going to make the recipe video and I've kind of like half made it, but I wasn't really happy with it and I haven't posted it, but maybe I will add some more recipes to that and it will just be a nice winter video for you, because I know that some weeks I will not be able to get to the plot, so at least I will have something to post over winter there. Anyway, the pumpkins are looking really good. This bed has been absolutely taken over by the nasturtiums, and this bed, oh, so much to do, but it's okay. I'm excited to do it, and I'm so excited to get the back of the plot done over winter. It'll be so much easier once all this stuff has died back, and yeah, I'll be able to see what's there. But anyway, 2/3 of the plot is looking amazing. Oh, well, after that rushed ending, it stopped raining. But I still gotta go home now anyway, so I do apologise. That tour was very quick and brief. I'm gonna have to do a voiceover for it because it got really windy as well, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and in the next one I will definitely talk about more plans for this year, and maybe we'll get to do something fun as well. Anyway, I will see you next time, guys. Bye.